Alright, give me just a second, folks, and we'll begin again. Sorry, my internet apparently had some issues, so. So just give me just a couple more minutes here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make this live stream because we have people in the modded community that can't seem to grow the fuck up and move on in life. Instead, they want to try to threaten people's livelihoods because they got all fucking offended with their ego. So we're gonna be doing some addressing today, and just to show everybody how much of a coward he really is. But give me just a few moments to actually get this up and going. Okay. So, recently today, unfortunately, I had some stuff to do, and unfortunately I got notified by a person that just can't seem to quit freaking harassing people back, for that matter. And when people leave constructive criticism, which I will show here in a moment, you are penalized for it. And this isn't new, unfortunately. This is something that's existing for a very long time. Is that when anybody tries to give constructive criticism, people are always left in the dark. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. So give me just a few moments to load some stuff here, and then we will officially begin. Okay, just making sure my audio was correct. Okay, so I was having a pretty good day today. Not so much now, however, it's gotten better after the phone calls that I've just taken to validate this person's bullshit and how much of a coward they really are. And I feel like I should show this to everybody because this person wants to publicly try to dox me, number one, with my personal information, and also try to quote unquote say that I'm cyber harassing him and stalking him, which is not the case. And we're going to be going into this deeply because I'm quite frankly tired of this person. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt when this demo got released here, this piece of shit demo. But unfortunately now, once again, because of this stuff here happening, I now have to publicize it, so. Okay. So, anyways. I don't know why this thing keeps on like going away from live. Maybe it's just having trouble updating. So literally about, I think it was 4 days ago. Let me go back here. Yes. So 4 days ago, Shinobi made this post about a quote-unquote HD Roxas. And let me just say right now, this is not high quality. Let alone the Keyblade looks like dog shit. So, number one... Actually, now that I look at it a little bit further, where's the keychain? Do you not have keychains? NMC guy does. Anyways, this is the rest face of this model, by the way. It looks like dog shit. And also, let me show you one thing as well. Shinobi wants to continuously try to say that everyone is harassing him and that he doesn't start anything. Well, let me show you this picture here then. You want to explain this then? Bet you won't post these in OpenKH right now. Laugh emoji. But I thought you were a peaceful person. No, you literally deliberately want to instigate something. You asked for this person to share these photos in OpenKH. And you probably have done it to more than just one person asking this information, knowing you. I'm going to look into these a little bit further as well. Like, they just look bad. I mean, like, the model doesn't even blink. He looks like he's high on something. There's no keychain. It just looks terrible. And obviously Discord, in terms of screenshots, are obviously compressed, so it depletes the quality a little bit. But, like, I can... Like, look at this. Like, what is this? What is this facial expression? This looks like dog shit. But we're going to give the excuse, and I just know this, that this is a work in progress, and that, you know, things like that. So, let me just say right now, these photos is another good reason why I made my comment to begin with. Because of how dog shit this project, this demo should not even exist. It is this bad. And I feel bad for Patreon members. And for those that are wondering, before I get into this officially, I am doing this on my own behalf. I am not having anybody, I'm not representing anybody. I'm not doing this to defend anybody else in particular, but I am only doing this on my behalf because I truly believe warning people is the right way to go about this because of this person's actions at this point. This behavior from this person is not normal, as another person has said previously in their video, and it's not okay. Narcissistic behavior is not okay. And this person is a narcissist, unfortunately. He blames everybody else but himself. OpenKH, a group with like over thousands of people, have tried to help this person. And this one person, over 1,000 in a Discord server, who can pretty much testify as well on how bad this person is. Those that are active anyways. It's not just a cult thing, quote unquote, according to him. A lot of others are doing the same thing. You even tried dragging Melon Mix people into this bullshit, this drama, for no reason. So, let me reduce the quality here, I'm sorry. Just so my dashboard can keep up with everything that's going to play here. So, anyways, this person got excited here, and honestly, as a modder of 7 years for this game, I have more experience than this piece of shit here. So with that being said, I commented, and I said the following. I said, Retold is much more better than this. How is mentioning, to this person here anyways, how is mentioning the name of the project, asking Topaz directly? I never mentioned him once about Topaz specifically. He's out of this conversation. This is not to do anything with him. This is between me and trying to promote this project on my own behalf, because I've seen the work that comes from this already. It looks glorious. I've seen the model. I've seen the beginning part where you're in the what's that area in Twilight Town? You're underground, that area there. But like, it looks so much better than the bullshit Shinobi has projected and shown. I mean, it's bad. Kite himself, by the way, and I'm not mentioning this to get him involved in terms of this situation, but he has taught me how to do animation looping, interpolation, models, you name it. I have a recon model in Kingdom Hearts 2 right now that is practically flawless right now, and it's fully functional because of him, because of his help. And anytime he gave me criticism, I took it as a way to grow. I really did. I might have gotten frustrated because of the sake of not understanding, but I trusted him. I let him be in the lead because I could see his product is successful and it's flawless. So with that in mind, anyways, he wants to try to say that I'm dragging Topaz into this, and I'm not. I'm doing this on my own behalf because Shinobi tried to gain attention to those that hate him to stir the pot. And once again, to validate that comment, here's this picture, which clearly shows, I bet you won't post these to OpenKH right now. So, yeah, hypocritical bitch. What do you guys say about that, Shinobi? Probably nothing. Anyways, and I said I'm mentioning his work, if you can read. Because I hate people who just cannot read and try to gaslight and project it on with something else. Anyways, we kind of just had a back and forth with the same thing, saying you're doing this to Topaz and I'm not. Anyways, now, Shinobi today officially jumps in and says the following. I wasn't even going to reply to this, but man, I'm just going to say that you are easily a candidate for the saddest soul on earth with your pathetic continued attempts to misinform people about me and my projects. I am continuing to document each time something like this happens. Yes, even though you thought I was just deleting it all. Go tell Master you failed again. Who's this Master? Again, I'm not doing this on behalf of anybody. This is an individual thing. I'm doing this on my own behalf because of my inconveniences with you, because you're triggering me and pissing me off now because you want to try to say that I'm harassing you. You did the same thing with Topaz. You did the same thing with OpenKH. You keep projecting the blame onto everybody else because you're narcissistic and you deserve to be alone at this point. So with that being said, and I've learned the following as a kid, by the way. If you have to explain yourself fully to someone, then you know that you're the problem. You're the one that's in trouble. And literally he goes on to that random individual and feels like he's owed a book of all the stuff that's happening here. And I laughed at this so hard. He does this to everybody. Everybody that supports him, and like myself or someone says something here, he feels the need to make a book to someone about this shit, and they themselves probably don't even want to get involved in this. They probably don't. They really don't. So I said, oh hey, you responded. I said, I thought you took criticism, because again, in this, here's my comment. Being bold and blunt about, what I hated about the project, what can be fixed, telling him that the animation is just horrible. It snaps. The hands literally move like he's freezing to death, spastically shaking whenever you're in the battle pose. And I don't know why every freaking ledge in Twilight Town has to be grabbable. He's done that right here. It just, like, climbing up buildings. Even if you, it is cool to do, with a purpose, of course. But why are we doing that? Because if you go back here, you're going to fall infinitely, and the user's going to get stuck and get pissed off. There's just no reason for this. So that's why I made the first point. The second one, once again, the animations look horrible. If you look at the way the model falls here, and the way the dodge roll finishes right here, like it just immediately snaps. Right there's the final frame. And then just immediately snaps in the battle post, but it looks awful. So I said this, the animations need to be fixed and retargeted a little bit better, or add interpolation, which honestly is not a hard thing to do. You literally can include the first keyframe of another animation. So like, let's say for example that you want to interpolate an animation where going into battle, like let's say your model doesn't have a battle pose to an idle animation, which exists for this game. What you can do is take the very first keyframe on the idle animation, copy and paste it into the animation with the battle pose, and put it at the very end, and then bake it into that. It's not hard. And you're welcome for that free information, by the way. Whether you'll actually interpret it and actually learn from it is a different story. Probably not. But that is how you add interpolation, because Kite told me this. Kite is a very flawless person when it comes to modding, meaning he checks his stuff. He makes sure everything is perfect before something's ever released or put on the Patreon. So, with that being said, that was the second point. And then the third point, and this kind of is a multiple, topic per se, is he adds a 60 FPS code to the PS2 version of this game. And I don't understand why. It looks terrible. And with that being said, all of these custom enemies he's done are adding so much memory to this game because it's so unoptimized. And I'm laughing in the background because he can't get to OpenKH by himself anymore to get the up-to-date tools. So he doesn't know how to optimize this shit. And the reason why it's not optimized is because it alternates between 30 to 60 FPS. And it's not my computer, before anyone tries to say that. I have an RTX 5070 Ti in this computer. It is not the computer. So with that being said, it's dog shit. And let's fast forward a little bit right here. Why did we add these guys into Kingdom Hearts 2? They're already in the game, you idiot. These are already here in freaking Olympus Coliseum when you're going for the first visit up to Hades. These are already here. So what's the purpose of this? Could you not add the AI normally? or edit the AI from the existing one. So you did most of this work for no reason. It looks terrible. It does. And another complaint that I put down here as well is that when you're in this quote-unquote dark corridor, you get infinitely looped in a falling state whenever you're after this mission actually displayed here with Larxene. You literally fall endlessly. And a demo should be more than like 2 minutes. So, and I asked him, why are you doing the PS2 version? I said the PC version is more stable. We've got what's called KH2 Moose, which expands the memory up to 2 gigs. And for comparison, a PlayStation 2 is like 256 megabytes of video RAM or video memory for such a thing. So as a comparison, 1,000 megabytes is a gigabyte. So basically you got 2,000 megabytes and 2 gigs. So 256 megabytes over 2,000 megabytes on the PC. I'll gladly choose the PC for more stability. It's better, it is higher quality. And the funny part is as well, is looking at this guy's freaking Patreon. He literally has quote-unquote HD textures for that model, and I don't understand why. Let's see if I can try to find it here. I think it might be under posts. Sorry, I'm not used to Patreon, excuse me. Yeah, so here's an example of this HD texture. Like, why would you put the HD texture via the emulator's replacement option? Just go to PC. It just doesn't make sense. Why do we need to do HD textures on an emulator? Are we this lazy to port it over to PC? And like Topaz said, and I'm not bringing him into this once again, but you know, if you actually understood us and tried to understand and interpret it as a way of constructive criticism, I really think this could have gone a really good route. I really did think so. I really think if you were more understanding, Topaz and you would be actually good co-op buddies. But no, you wanted to blame everybody else but yourself. Anyways, I'm very glad to see, thank God, that the most in terms of people liking these and being a Patreon is like 5 people. Over the 54, I think, some thousand. Yeah, 50, or excuse me, not 50, I'm sorry, 6,000 subscribers to his channel. And like 5 people are looking at the Patreon. Thank the Lord. You do not deserve money from this. You don't. You are a narcissistic piece of shit who wants to blame everybody else but yourself. All the time. Let's talk about pricing, by the way, because I've mentioned before, and this is where he's getting confused, is that when I call someone a scammer, I'm talking about their price. Because how I determine something or someone to be a scam is I take the average price by everybody else and kind of factor in a singular price by everybody and make an average out of it. I've averaged out map creation and or, excuse me, not map creation, map replacements rather, by like $120 some, $100 around there, somewhere around there. This man, let's go to shop, wants to charge $200 for a map. It's genuinely not that hard. All you have to do is, number one, you have to make it, convert the FBX to the map format. You do your collisions. That part is not the hard part. It's not. However, doing the ARD stuff, which is responsible for telling you what gets spawned, where on the map it gets spawned, and events like cutscenes and all that, that is the easy stuff. You can copy and paste the internal files from the .map file, or the ARD file, which is responsible for spawning stuff in. You can literally copy and paste that. It's not hard. And then we're going to talk about the file size of this project as well. So for comparison, by the way, guys, the original Kingdom Hearts 2 ISO, let me see if I still have it here, actually. I might have it here. Give me just a moment. I probably don't. Yeah, I deleted it because it was ridiculously big. The original game ISO is a whopping 4.2 gigabytes, and Shinobi's ISO file is 7.1 gigs because he uses FMV pre-rendered cutscenes. Why, I don't know. You can make custom cutscenes like a certain somebody does on Retold, and it looks a lot more better. I would much rather spend the time working harder on something and having a later publishment date to make it look good. And Kite has told me this as well. That's just me, though. Now, anyways. Now let's dig into what he's telling me. And this was told to me today. Let's go all the way down here. So once again, as explained, I was arguing with this person, not saying anything in regards to Topaz directly, but what the project was retold. Now, let's go down a little bit further whenever he starts commenting now. So we just discussed this about him not going to be quote-unquote replying, and the hypocrisy is about to happen. He wants to say that I'm harassing him and that I'm trying to quote-unquote stalk him and try to, I guess deprive him of his mentality or try to, hurt him. But you call people clowns and you call people names. That's a bit hypocritical, don't you think? He also wants to say that I'm blackmailed by Topaz. Please tell me where I'm blackmailed. Please tell me this. You've used the same excuse for more than a year now, and you're doing this for attention purposes. No one is perfect, and I've had my beef with Topaz, but we have this thing called being an adult and moving on. Something that you can't seem to understand. Because the moment someone says something like this, you have this as a backup for every single time because you want to cover your ass. Anyways, he also feels the need to express a whole dictionary to his supporter, which probably doesn't even want to get in the middle of all this anyways. So, referencing this comment here again about, giving him some critical feedback to honestly promote and to help his project, I then tell him, let me go back because this thing never stays open. Show my replies. Oh, hey, you responded. This was today, and I left this here 2 weeks ago. I said, I thought you could take constructive criticism, which, again, here, I was professional, but blunt about what I thought about this project. I never insulted it any. But I was just saying here, as a veteran modder of 7 years of this game, which I've modded this game for 7 years, I would have had people test this for me, making sure they themselves thought it was okay, before putting this, number one, on Patreon, and number two, for the public. Honestly, I really wanted to encourage and make your mod better. I did. Anyways, going further. Sorry, I'll take constructive criticism from everyone who isn't a hateful piece of shit. So once again, you're insulting me now, but yet I've never called you anything up until this video now because you want to do this to me. So you say that I'm harassing you. You just did the same thing to me. Call me that. And let's also talk about freaking the Senate bill of Indiana because you want to expose my name, number one, and number two, the state that I live in. So let's talk about those laws, shall we? So I looked up the Senate bill of number 140 here, which says the definition of a threat, intimidation statute to include the posting of person's personal information on a social media platform with the intent to cause bodily injury, damage to a person's property, and in this case, against the person, the commission of a crime against the person, in which you accuse me of harassing you and also stalking you. That's an accusation of a crime. So therefore, this applies to me. You violated the Senate Bill of 140, which is still into effect, and it says increases the penalty for intimidation. So you're trying to intimidate me with these scare tactics. Now let's go back. And I told him right here, falling endlessly into your dark corridor, the part that he made, I said, you're falling endlessly. You don't get to a point. Once you get to Larxene, you're falling endlessly. You can't get to any parts past that are showcased in this demo video here. Again, to literally tell him, hey, for me, I'll listen to them. But everything you said is a bunch of bullshit. The only thing that you've mentioned to me in the past is about your freaking, whatchamacallit, being blackmailed by Topaz. And I've never been blackmailed by him. Even if it was, it's the past. I let go of stuff, unlike you. I have an adult-like heart and a mind. You have a kid heart. Who whines and bitches and complains the moment you get criticism about something. And then he wants to say, that's exactly what someone who spreads misinformation would say, yada yada yada. Funny you can't just state your evidence of me scamming or stealing, which I did that twice now, including this video. And he says, I'm done entertaining this. You are hereby warned. My next call is to the Indiana State Police with all evidence. Okay, let's pause there. Now let's listen to a video. Being called in, but there we go. Sorry. No, I was just making sure in terms of like something actually being called in, because if that was the case, I mean, I would have gladly spoken to whoever needed to speak.
That has been called in to us, but if you're calling from out of state, you wouldn't necessarily get us.
Okay.
But I don't know of anybody else in any of our other 13 districts that wouldn't be saying the exact same thing.
You said that. Sorry, you said you were a trooper. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm a sergeant with the state police, yes.
Sergeant, okay, perfect. Yeah. I appreciate the information. Like I said, I just wanted to clarify and make sure nothing was reported, and if so, I would have cooperated.
Problems, no problems.
Okay, as you can see, he never called. This is all a scare tactic. He never called. And I recorded this video right here, August 2nd, today, at 2:44 p.m., which was about an hour, a little less than an hour ago. Alright, now with that being said, I wanted to get extra confirmation, and I know which state he lives in, unfortunately, and I called them as well. Let's see what they have to say.
Hello, this is Messiah.
Hi, my name is... I'm actually out of state here in Indiana, but there is an individual that I know online, I think, that resides in Utah. I just wanted to know if maybe if anyone had called any kind of like cyber harassment, anything like that recently.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
The threat itself.
You said, sorry, it kind of cut off. You said nobody called in anything?
No, I was wondering what kind of cyber tip was it?
It's kind of an online argument over YouTube, saying that one of us is like verbally harassing this individual, and he actually said, like, within like the last 30 minutes or so, that he contacted the authorities. I just contacted my local cyber state police area here in Indiana, and they have not gotten anything, and I just didn't know if he reported to you guys locally or not.
No, not that I'm aware of. You could have called the local police department as well.
Okay, so you heard their confirmation from the Utah State Police, which I think is where he resides in, that they never got a call. There was no call in relevance to a cyber, bullying or anything like that. There's no reports on that from anywhere around there. So, all right, Shinobi, tell me, when did you call? Give me the phone number. Give me your first real name. I would love to know this information so I know what to do. Because I expected, if you legitimately did, to be on standby, so that way if I needed to talk to someone or, provide evidence, things like that, I could gladly do that on my own behalf. So, anyways, as you can see, he never called, and you are a definition of a coward. You're trying to scare me, you're trying to do all these tactics to get me off your back, and I will continuously, if I have to, tell everybody to not subscribe to you and to not donate to you or even subscribe to your Patreon, because you do not deserve money at this point. You are scamming people, taking away their money. This project here is dog shit. And we've tried helping you. We've tried giving you honest criticism and feedback. I've told you what to do about this stuff here right here, and you deliberately ignored it. And clearly you've been responding to me, so you haven't blocked me, and you see this comment, you just choose to deliberately move yourself away from it. So, but again, feel free to come back and leave constructive criticism after your playthrough. We've tried doing this. You don't listen to everybody. I've legitimately tried to help you with the quality of your mod, but you don't care. You don't care about your people. You don't care about anyone but yourself. Bro has a shitty laptop, by the way. Every freaking video he does, it's like 20, 30 FPS when he records. Bro's barely surviving. He has to do freaking plasma donations to survive, and that's his choice. He was not thrown there. He was putting himself in that situation. As a person like myself who's been on the streets, trust me, this was a decision he made. He chose to be in this position. And I can see why now. Why no one talks to him. Why no one gives a shit about this person. And you guys shouldn't either. I myself, once again, have experienced people nonstop be scammed left and right from Kingdom Hearts 3 commissions, 2 commissions, and people on KH1 say they're going to commission and then leave you, pretty much ghost you and don't say anything. And it's not okay. And I'm here to protect people because I've been in that situation. I've been in that predicament. I've been in a situation where people try to take advantage. And this person is a perfect example of that. He tries to take advantage of everybody he can. He projects the blame on everybody else but himself. Because, again, if he wants to try to humble himself and say, well, everybody has faults, things like that, then why are you trying desperately to defend yourself? You've done this so many times. If you know what, if like myself having my faults, and Topaz and Kite could testify this, by the way, that I didn't handle things correctly or didn't handle it well. You know what I say? You know what? You're right. I fucked up. I should have handled it a lot more better. And move on. That's all you could have done. But you didn't. Your pride was in the way. Now, let me also address one more thing here, because multiple people are going around saying this, and you want to try to say that it's discrimination, but I'm going to debunk that clearly because some of you all don't understand the true meaning of what this means. So give me just a second here to pull up the actual comment. Every time someone reaches out to me, and it don't bother me, it really doesn't, because, you know, you're just pieces of shit, honestly. At this point, I hate to say it that way, but, you know, at this point, when you say the same stuff over and over, you are one. Everyone wants to say about how I abuse LGBTQ community members. Where is this evidence? Please supply it to me right freaking now. Because let me tell you one thing. There's a difference between disagreeing with such a subject and actually hating on it. Because I know people in this world that wish death upon these types of people, that will tell people word for word and quote-unquote claim to be a Christian that you are going to hell. I have never once said this to anybody. Never. I don't wish death upon anybody, let alone having a herniated disc in a medical perspective. Those are the two most miserable things you could ever wish upon somebody, and I don't wish that upon anybody, even Shinobi. So, there's a difference between disagreeing with something and being homophobic. Now, let's go ahead and pull up Google because you guys are stupid. Hatred. Hating people. It says hating people. There's a difference between hating somebody and disagreeing with them. Because I don't agree with it, and it's because of my religion, which clearly says it's against Christianity, does not mean I hate somebody. It does not mean I hate somebody. And this is the problem with LGBTQ people when it comes to Christianity versus this stuff, is you all want to freaking try to put yourselves as the victim. You victimize everything of your own to try to say, oh, Christianity's bad. No, it's not. If anybody you've ever encountered in the past to where they're saying word for word, you're going to go to hell, and they claim to be Christian, absolutely, that is entirely wrong. I will agree upon you with that. That is 100% wrong. I have no right to say that, and I never have, and I never will. However, if you're going to make the accusation and say that I hate you because I just simply disagree with the choice of lifestyle, you are the problem. I don't hate you. I disagree with what you do. You do you, I do me, and that's that. But never have I ever, quote unquote anyways, abused anybody in the LGBTQ community. That is a false fucking lie right there. And I'm tired of that going around. Grow up and shut up. Grow a pair of balls, go touch grass, do whatever it is you have to do to get over it. Because clearly you have a problem, an obsession problem in that regard. And you know what's funny as well, Shinobi, is you want to say that, oh, I'm obsessive, and that's also another penal code violation, by the way, which I'll pull up right here, quote-unquote stalking. You're doing the same thing. You're bringing up the same stuff. So you are just as guilty. Let's also go to this one about intimidation of others. You literally just tried sending, quote-unquote, police to my house. You literally said you contacted the local law enforcement and you didn't do shit. You are a hypocrite. And you deserve to be in a mental institution. I'll leave it with that. I've gone on the stream for, oh goodness gracious, freaking, I don't know how long now, but long enough, basically. Almost 38 minutes right now. So, I'm going to conclude it with this. I don't care what comes my way at this point. If you want to continue this battle, then so be it. But you know what? I'm not going to let somebody try to harass and try to scare me and say that I'm going to call the local police for something that never even happened. I just proved to you that you never called because you just said, literally, once again, let me pull this back up right now. I warned you now I call the authorities. So you declare here that you call the authorities. Where are they? I don't hear them. There's nobody here. No one's called me. And I just validated with the video again that I called the state police post and they literally contacted the other 13 jurisdictions in Indiana, and you have not called them. Let's play it again. No, I was just making sure in terms of like something actually being called in, because if that was the case, I mean, I would have gladly spoken to whoever needed to speak.
Nothing's been called into those, but if you're calling from out of state.
Just for context, he says nothing has been called into the blank post, meaning my city. That's why I blanked it out.
You wouldn't necessarily get us,
Okay.
but I don't know of anybody else in any of our other 13 districts that wouldn't be saying the exact same thing.
Exactly. So the state trooper just said that he wouldn't doubt that the other 13 people would say the same thing. And I've called each and every one of these, and everyone is saying the same thing. No, they have not received anything. So let's proceed. And to confirm, this is an actual trooper. You said you were a trooper, sorry?
Yeah, I'm a sergeant with the state police, yes.
Sergeant, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
A sergeant with the state police here in Indiana. So there's your confirmation. And once again, let's try calling his state again.
Hello, this is Messiah.
Hi, my name is... I'm actually out of state here in Indiana, but there is an individual that I know online, I think, that resides in Utah. I just wanted to know if maybe if anyone had called any kind of like cyber harassment, anything like that recently.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Not that I'm aware of, from an actual official in Utah with the cyber crime committee, basically, the the state police in Utah. Just gave me the confirmation that nobody has reported any kind of calling. You are a coward, Shinobi, and you will always be a coward. I freaking praise Topaz for dropping the situation. Because, I'll be honest, I don't have that patience right now because of what you tried to do today. That the fact that these are people's livelihoods and you want to threaten them for over a fucking video game. This is a video game from early 2000s and you want to do this stuff to people. It's insane. Let alone every one of us that mods already should be sued by Square Enix because we're modifying their stuff and that violates their copyright. Grow up. If you don't like my comments, ban me, block me, whatever it has to do to get over it. But you know what? If I had that freedom to see those posts and see people praising someone who's a narcissistic piece of shit like you, I'm going to try and get them away from you. Because the thing that you don't understand is I've had biological family do this to me, who say they're always there for me and aren't. Thus why I moved away from them, who try projecting the blame on me. I'm doing pretty good for myself. I got my own place, my own vehicle, my own job now. I'm doing just fine. So don't try to tell me that I'm the one that's the fucking problem here. I'm doing just fine. And I don't know what you meant by cult earlier, if you're insulting Christianity as a cult or OpenKH as a cult, and I hope to God it's OpenKH, because if you try to freaking say that Christianity is a cult, then you're blasphemous against the Holy Spirit, as you claim to be a follower. You are not a follower. I don't care what you say. You are genuinely not a follower of Christ. For you to be saying the nasty stuff you've been telling me through messages here. So, I'm going to conclude it with this. If anybody here is watching and supports this man in terms of financially with Patreon, take your business to another person. Take it to the Retold Project. A project that looks 100 times better than this thing being held together by duct tape and glue. This is Shinobi's. This is Topaz's. Please support this one. It's a lot more better. You'll save yourself time. I guarantee you'll save yourself money for that regard. And this just looks a lot more professional and cleaner. This is on the PC version. So you're not going to have so many issues with memory. You're not going to have any issues with frame rate. Just do not support this man. And let's go via it one more time. Once again. And I'll conclude this stream. Okay, so the very last comment that Shinobi makes tries to say that I'm harassing him, Indiana code, another Indiana code for quote-unquote stalking. So now, real quickly, the second to last one now. You are hereby warned, my next call is to the Indiana State Police. With all evidence, stop bothering me and my supporters. Alright, so this one right here, the last one. I warned you, now I call the authorities. Okay, so he said he called them, right? Let's look at the video one more time. No, I was just making sure in terms of like something actually being called in, because if that was the case, I mean, I would have gladly spoken to whoever I needed to speak to.
That has been called into, but if you're calling from out of state, you wouldn't necessarily get us.
Okay.
But I don't know of anybody else in any of our other 13 districts that wouldn't be saying the exact same thing.
So he just confirmed they never got a thing. And then once again, for validation, this is a sergeant with the Indiana State Police Department. You said that, sorry, you said you were a trooper, sorry?
Yeah, I'm a sergeant with the state police, yes.
Sorry. So there's your confirmation. And let's hear Utah's information as well, which is where he resides.
Hello, this is Messiah.
Hi, my name is... I'm actually out of state here in Indiana, but there is an individual that I know online, I think, that resides in Utah. I just wanted to know if maybe if anyone had called any kind of like cyber harassment, anything like that recently.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of, because it doesn't exist. It does not exist. So, I'm going to end the stream now. But it's sad that I had to make this bullshit. It really is. But, again, as somebody who's dealt with a narcissistic family, and by the grace of God, I broke free from that. And I have my own place now, my own vehicle, my own job. Thank God for that. And as someone who's experienced this stuff, Shinobi, shows all the signs of a narcissist. I don't have hope that you will repent, because you won't. You will continuously try to project blame onto everybody else, and God have mercy on your soul come Judgment Day, because you're going to need it. I'm over this stuff now. I left honest criticism on your demo here. Was not insulting anybody. I was just asking why this, why that, this looks bad, for the sake of growth. But you can't take criticism. You hypocritical piece of shit. Anyways, I am now going to conclude this stream. If you want to reach out man to man, civilly, and settle this dispute, I am more than happy to do so. But the moment you insult me, or say any kind of behavior that is narcissistic, or gaslighting, anything like that, I will end that conversation immediately. It is not right. It is not right in the slightest. Please, guys, please. I'm going to put on a couple of YouTube channels here that I really hope you guys support instead. One of them is going to be Topaz TK. He is the person that's doing this 358 over 2 days retold that I was mentioning. And please also search Kite as well. Both of these individuals do amazing work. I have learned myself the animation stuff, the editings and things like that by Kite himself. Kite already enough does not sleep and works endlessly, not to mention the tools, by the way. He's made tools for these games to do all this cool stuff. And you know what? Kite deserves the recognition. He does. I've never had a problem with him in terms of this bullshit, like between me and him. Because anytime he criticized me of something like this, I know that I was wrong. I know that I'm flawed and I can evolve and be better at stuff. Because everybody is imperfect. They're not perfect. They have flaws. They can improve. There's always room for improvement no matter where you go. So again, Kite and Topaz, support these guys on Patreon or morally, however you wish to go about it, but don't support Shinobi. It's not worth it. You're going to get freaking just drama after drama after drama, and claims he's such a caring guy. No, he's not. OpenKH is a server with thousands of people, and he's well known for the wrong reasons, unfortunately, in that server. So please don't support this guy. Please go take your money to these guys who desperately need it, especially Kite. So please go and support him, if anything. So I appreciate you all watching. And again, this is sad that I had to make this stream, but you know what? I'm not gonna sit there and be silent from someone that wants to freaking try to say he's gonna call the police on me and never did. So, but appreciate y'all, and y'all take care.